And of course, before working on any firearm, you need to make sure it is free and clear of all ammunition. Bullpup configured firearms are often more difficult to be able to determine this, especially when they have innovative ejection features, such as the MDRx does. So what we're going to do is go ahead and remove the side ejection port, the plate, and that'll give us good visual access into everything. So we'll go ahead and remove the magazine first, then we'll remove that port so we can easily check the chamber. So the magazine, to release that, the magazine release is either right here or there's one here. So you just simply push in on that. That will unlock the magazine. As we can see, the magazine is free and clear. We'll go ahead and remove this ejection port cover. And that gives us easy visual access into the chamber area. We'll go ahead and pull the bolt back. And as we can see, the chamber area is free and clear. So we're free to look at the controls and features of the DesertTech MDRx. We'll come back to this port in just a moment. As far as controls and features, as already mentioned, the magazine release is right here or right here. So it can either be released this way, gripping the magazine and releasing it, or by pushing the button in. This is the bolt release. So on the last round, when the bolt locks open, you could push that in. After putting a new magazine in, that will release the bolt. This, of course, is our safety. Red would be fire. White is safe. Both of these controls are ambidextrous on both sides. Of course, the centrally mounted controls are ambidextrous because they're centrally mounted. We have the trigger. The trigger on the MDRx is a very nice trigger. It comes in right around 4.5 pounds or so. And for a bullpup, that's excellent. It's actually just as good as most ARs that you would encounter. The non-reciprocating charging handles are right here on either side. And there again, ambidextrous. In operation, you can pull them back and lock it up to lock the bolt open. And then, of course, to release, just slap it down, the old HK slap. Other features, of course, has a full top Picatinny rail. These bolts here are what retain the barrel. So the barrel is easily removed by loosening these bolts and unlocking it. We have our front compensator there. That's the ratchet compensator. And that's pretty much it as far as controls and features. Now, one of the top selling features of this firearm is the fact that it ejects, being a bullpup, it ejects from the side. However, that side can be easily configured in the field. And even from the side, right here with this ejection port, it ejects from the side. Currently it's set to eject from the left side, but it will actually eject the cases forward. So they come out of the chute there and they come forward. So even if you had this up, shooting it from your right shoulder, they would not hit you in the face. They'd clear out. But if you wanted to switch from right to left hand, it's very simple. This is the latch right there that locks it in place. It's a little knurled little button, and you'd simply just push it forward. It's got a very tough spring on it. And lift up. Go to the other side. Lift that one forward. And lift up. And then simply swap them. And as easy as that, we've now configured it to eject on the right side. These components have the ejection port on the one side. On the other side is the scissor operating extractor that will basically push it out of the port, and depending on what side you have that swapped on, it depends on what side it will eject from. So as far as the disassembly, we'll go ahead and take a look at field strip disassembly. There are 3 pins. There's one here, and one here, and that allows you to remove the lower section from the upper. The front handguard is retained by this pin right there, and also it's tightened down with these 2 Torx screws They're T25s. So to remove the front handguard, to get real easy access to the gas port, I mean, you have access to the gas port through the opening there on either side if you need to make infield adjustments. But if you really wanted to get to it easily, you could loosen that screw on either side. And it's not tightened down real tight. It's just meant to provide a little bit more resistance, or to hold it more firmly in place. Push the pin out. Now, the one thing I will caution you, the pins on these are very tight, at least at first. I'm sure they will loosen up over time. But once you remove the pin on the handguard, that just comes off. And of course, we have our adjustable gas block right there. Have the pins holding the upper and the lower, so we'll go ahead and remove those. Like I said, the pins are a little stubborn. So go ahead and push those pins. Now you only need to remove the rear and the middle, and that will allow you to pivot it open. To get access to the internals. If you want to fully remove the lower, just remove that front pin, and you can remove the lower assembly. On the inside here, we have our bolt and carrier. The carrier runs all along the bottom over here, and it's got a captured recoil spring. To remove that, you do need to remove the scissoring action port because the bolt has a couple of tabs on it that engages that scissor action to operate it. So you do need to remove that as well to be able to remove the bolt. Once that's removed, the bolt, carrier, recoil spring assembly comes out as a single unit. There again, have the locking lugs there, very AR styled. And that's as far as you really need to disassemble this. You can get access to everything to clean it off fairly easily. Go ahead and remove this side over here. So now you have full access to pretty much everything. There's the operating rod there. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to fully disassemble the bolt, you would need to remove this pin right here. That's what retains the firing pin and everything, so you can just push that pin out. At that point, you can remove the firing pin. And the bolt comes out. This one's pretty wet. But that gives you access to be able to clean and wipe everything down. Reassembly would be just the opposite. So go ahead and put our bolt back in the carrier. Reinstall our firing pin and its retainer. Okay, just line the grooves up right there. So those grooves and these lugs here will align with those slots right there. And we can go ahead and put on our ejection. I'll go ahead and have this eject over on this side this time. Lock our pins in. Put the rear pin in. Lock it in place. Slide the front handguard on. And once the pin's in place there, tighten down those 2 tension screws. Again, they don't have to be very tight. They're just to give some rigidity to that front grip. Do a quick function check. And we are reassembled.